Last video we did boost leak testing. That went really well. If you guys know, the tachometer wasn't working. They said you have to cut the wires according to if you're 4, 6, or 8 cylinders. I don't know if that's gonna make the tach work or not, but hopefully it will. Power steering's empty and stuff, but every time I start it up, I always get this big puddle. I got the car up on its jacks so I can show you guys the leak. Yeah, now you see how bad it is. So the news is it wasn't only power steering, it was actually a lot more than that. It's power steering fluid with engine oil from the main seal and then brake fluid from the slave cylinder. The slave cylinder is brand new, so I think that's just something I just need to look into really fast, and that's a quick fix. And then the power steering fluid is leaking from my brand new Chase base lines, which I was gonna do a video on and just never did. I don't know why these are leaking. These lines are brand new. I don't know if I put them on wrong or I didn't tighten them or something like that. I literally just finished cleaning it up and look what's happening already. The engine's off and it's dripping that much. So imagine when it's on with the pump like pushing pressure through the system. The second I touched it, it started spinning, this part right here. I don't know why I had it so loose, because I remember tightening it, but maybe, you know, I messed up and only tightened this part. This part was really loose. All I did was just tighten it down really tight, and it's not leaking right now. Hopefully it will hold and stay like that. We are going to test if our alternator is working. All I'm gonna do is turn on the car. I don't have a second person to hold the revs up right now, so I'm gonna turn it on and then put our multimeter on the battery, and it should read around 14.6. I'm gonna have to wipe some of that up and then check and see if it's still leaking once we turn it on. Hopefully it's not. If it is, then it is, and we gotta fix the next leak. All right, so we can watch and make sure the power steering is not leaking, and we have our multimeter hooked up, which is reading 1136, which is a little low. That's really not good. You have a couple of leaks, and one is coolant. And look at that. It's off the ground, so I don't know if that's affecting it, but power steering looks to be like I fixed it, and there's not really any fluid too, and it's this light to turn. That's a good sign. Rundown, basically, I got to relocate that because I waited so long, and I know it was up to temp or really close to being up to temp, but the water readings just weren't coming through. So I definitely got to change that over to this side just to be safe, because, you know, I don't want to just guess my water temp. That's scary. Overheating is like the worst thing that could happen to an engine. We do have a coolant leak behind here somewhere, very small one that I showed you guys before. The alternator is not charging the battery. We did fix the power steering leak, and that's kind of the main reason I jacked it up. I'm gonna drop her back down just so I can get in the car and try and figure out what's up with the alternator. I have a theory, because somebody told me you do need a charge light. I didn't know the charge light was essential. It might be. Now the car's on the ground. I took that cover off of the alternator, and that's the cable that goes straight to the battery from the alternator, and that's our alternator ground. And it's working because I measured the battery voltage across them. with the engine on, it's still reading 10, the same across the alternator. That means the alternator is not charging correctly. And I'm gonna hook up a charge light, see if that fixes it, because I'm pretty sure my voltage regulator and everything's good. I believe this is the alternator fuse. It's 7.5. 15. What the heck? Oh, my gauges. Oops. Oh, there we go. Alternator fuse is intact, which means we do have to install a charge light in order to get the alternator to work. That's not hard to do. I just have to tap another power, and we have to figure out if the light requires like a resistor, because in the diagram it shows a resistor, so I don't think you can use any regular light. Tack still is not working for some reason. We're gonna have to check the like the tack adapter or whatever it's called, the thing that's supposed to read the wavelength and like transfer it over. We gotta check that. Do some research on this charge bulb that we have to do for the alternator. Power steering leak is fixed. Power steering is working better. The car is starting a lot better. As you heard, once I started it like that, it was nice. And if you guys liked it, make sure you guys leave a like. As soon as we reach 50 subscribers, I'm doing a burnout. Like, I'm gonna send it in the car. Make sure you sub, give me the 50, and we'll do this burnout. And I'll see you guys next time. Amen.